and welcome to this month's webinar with special guest speaker Matt Chapman, martial artist, author, creator of all things martial artsy, marketing, consultancy, everything. In today's session, Matt will take you through sort of like some high energy, solution packed sort of workshop that will help you kind of get the most out of your summer slump and keep those students kind of turning up to class throughout summer, which is sort of the goal that everyone sort of wants, isn't it, throughout summer, is keeping those students and keeping that regular flow of money and students coming in and training. So hopefully you'll have these kind of actionable steps to take away and implement starting today. So it's going to be a really good session and really looking forward to it. So without further ado, I'll pass the mic to you, Matt, and yeah, take it away.
Thank you very much. Appreciate that. And thanks for the warm intro. Welcome, everyone. You might know me. I've been around a long time talking about martial arts and teaching martial arts. And we're going to be talking today about how to prevent that summer slump happening, which is common in a lot of schools, but doesn't have to necessarily happen every single summer. So we're going to look at some practical, actionable strategies you can use immediately to improve your summer and start September with a proper bang. So I'm going to, well, been highlighted. Hello, everyone. I'm going to share my screen. As we go through, if you want to write down any questions you might have, feel free, write down some questions and we can do a little chat at the end for 5-10 minutes, answer any questions. But a lot of martial arts schools do struggle in the summer to get leads and retain their members. This is partly due, in my opinion, and I work with a lot of martial arts schools, it's due to them taking their foot off the gas. They kind of decide that they're going to coast a little bit during summer, take a little bit of a break, and then kind of pick things up in September. And they also kind of expect that the marketing is not going to be as effective as it typically is, and that people are not really going to be joining as much during the summer. I don't think that's accurate. I just think that's a mindset that a lot of instructors take to summer, and that's not a problem. Like, if you want to take it a bit easy during the summer and, you know, have a bit of a break before you hit it hard in September, you can do. The issue is, if you're not marketing during the summer and you're not showing up in the local community and you're not generating leads, then September can be a bit harder than it needs to be. So the idea is, if you show up consistently during summer and market effectively and generate leads and have good class attendance so that your students are showing up during the classes, then when you get to September, you're in a stronger position to take advantage of the growth that naturally happens. So there are approximately 20 strategies we're going to look at today to improve your summer so you don't have a summer slump, focused around kind of generating leads during summer, maximizing retention, and increasing class attendance. What I'd like you to do is kind of write down the ones that maybe you're not doing. So I guarantee some of you on here are doing some of these things, but I guarantee you're not doing all 20 strategies. So what I'd like you to do is kind of write down the ones that you're not doing, and then we can have a little chat at the end about implementation of them. So we'll get straight into it. Strategy number 1. Treat summer just like any other month that you would be marketing. So that means still continue to promote and market your school to generate leads and signups. Track your class attendance as you usually would, and then do missing in action calls and follow-ups with people who have not attended during the summer. But also use it as an opportunity to train your staff, update your space, your physical space, and plan for September. If you switch off all your marketing during the summer, your leads dry up. There's usually retention issues during the summer, so your classes get smaller. Some people might quit, and then you're starting September with a deficit. So you still need to continue to market. You might just market in a slightly different way during summer to generate the leads. A lot of instructors just don't bother tracking their attendance during the summer because people are obviously traveling, they're going away on holiday, they might be going to family events and going to the beach, etc. But you need to still stay on top of your class attendance tracking, because you need to do missing in action calls. And missing in action calls you should do weekly, and essentially it's anyone who's not shown up during the week, you should get a call or a text message just checking in that they're okay. And of course, then people are going to tell you that they're going to be away for 2 weeks, so you can kind of note that down and not bother them when they're away. But the goal is to still do the missing in action calls, so that people who are in the area but feeling a bit lazy about coming to class kind of get that feedback, get that motivation, get that inspiration from you to actually show up and train. And finally, like, yes, classes tend to go a bit quieter during the summer, so why not use it as an opportunity to train your staff on, for example, consultative sales or how to sign people up. So use the summer as an opportunity to train your staff and get them better and ready for a strong September. Summer's a great time to kind of upgrade your space, so improve the physical appearance of your training space so it looks fantastic for September. And summer's a great time as well just to sit down, take some time out and just plan for September, October, November, as they're typically the peak months. So strategy number 2, run a summer theme in summer. Like, the turning up to class to train is really difficult in the summer because there's so many other distractions and the weather's great and the beach is nearby and there's events going on and barbecues and fun stuff to do. So you need to give your members a reason to show up that's different than your regular training classes. Like, if they can access the same training that they get year round and they're at the beach, they're at a barbecue, they're at a party, they're doing something fun, it's not a strong enough reason for them to stop what they're doing, stop the fun they're having, and then come to class to do the same class that they would do at any other time of the year. So I'm a big fan of encouraging my clients to have a summer theme, which they promote leading up to summer, and it's a reason for people to show up. So common ones that people do includes like a sparring focused summer where you're just working through sparring and competition drills during the summer. Self-defense orientated training during the summer, competition training. If you don't teach things like weapons and weapons defense as part of your syllabus, then doing weapons training during the summer is fun and something a bit different. I have a client who does a stunt school every single summer. So he teaches kids how to do stunts and kind of screen fighting. And at the end of the summer, they create a little movie based on the 6 weeks of them training this sort of stunt school. And then he shares that on social media. So you just need to give your students a bit of a stronger reason to show up rather than this is a regular class, show up to the same class that you do at any other time of the year. So just kind of note down a few ideas of themes that you could run during summer. Or you can host a grading directly after the summer holidays, but it's a grading that you can only attend if you've attended enough sessions during the summer. So this is like what we used to call like a bonus grading. We would put a grading in on the first week of September, and the only people who could attend that grading were people who had trained enough during the summer. So that will, get the people who are excited about grading and moving through the ranks showing up during the summer because they essentially get like a bonus grading. Bearing in mind that people can moan about this and you can get parents moaning about people getting extra grades, so bear that in mind. But it's another reason to show up is that they can do this extra summer grading. We used to provide summer training plans so that when people go away on holiday, we used to give them online sort of training that they could do whilst they're away, which would be like written PDFs that they could download with videos as well on YouTube that they could then watch and do sort of mini martial arts workouts while they're away. Most people who go away on holiday are not going to do this. You're just doing it for the crazy few who kind of are really into it and feel like they want to keep their skills up, keep their fitness up, and not put on half a stone during their 2-week summer holiday. So we used to provide them with the resources to be able to train whilst they're away. And then the fun bit of this was we used to then ask people to film a little training montage when they're away on holiday. So we would have people like shadow boxing in front of swimming pools. We even had someone doing like forms in front of the pyramids in Egypt, and we would edit all these little clips together that our students would send in of them training on holiday, people doing flying kicks over pools, all that sort of stuff, and then create like a summer promo based off of that. So the reason for doing this is obviously some people are nutty enough to train while they're away on holiday, which is great. But also you get some cool footage back from them doing all these fun summer training things that you can use in your promotional materials. And also it just reminds everyone that it is possible. You can do stuff while you're away on holiday as well. So you can create some very simple sort of exercise plans that you can turn into PDFs and put in a document somewhere. You can create little short training uh, YouTube videos on body weight training or forms training or shadow boxing drills or hotel bedroom workouts that you can do. Create them once, put them on your platform, and then allow your students to access them. And it just reminds them that they can do training while they're away, and it encourages them to send you videos of them training whilst they're away on holiday, which is good social media content. So this is a controversial one. Some of you on here will let students pause during the summer. Some of you won't let students pause during the summer, and this is up to you. It's your school, your business. You can run it how you like, and you set the rules. So when I was running my school, we did let students pause during the summer, and we would take a knock of, 20, 30 students all pausing for the 6 weeks holiday, which, obviously affects revenue. But I have many clients who do not let students pause their payments during the summer. And how they explain that to their members is the obvious, you're paying for 48 weeks out of 52 anyway. So that includes our holiday time. You're not actually paying for that time anyway. They also offer makeup sessions when the students return from their holidays. They run catch-up workshops. So in September and October, they will run a bonus catch-up seminar workshop at the weekend where students can come and make up sessions that they've missed. So it might be a 2 to 3 hour seminar workshop, but the idea, if someone's missed 2 or 3 weeks during the summer, they can come to that. That will make up the time they've missed. And some schools do private lesson vouchers. So let's say someone has missed a month's worth of training during the summer because they were away. Some schools offer them a private lesson voucher in exchange for that month's worth of training. So 1 month's worth of training, 1 hour private lesson voucher in exchange, so that they can make up on what they've missed and get back into it. So you don't have to let students pause their payments. That is up to you. You have to feel comfortable with your decision. You have to also give your students reasons why you're not allowing them to pause their payments. So that is one strategy to think about. And I think if I was to run my school again, I probably wouldn't let students pause their payments during the summer. I'd explain they're only paying for 48 weeks. I'd allow them to make up any sessions they've missed when they return. I would probably run some catch-up workshops as well. And that will protect your revenue during the summer. Number 6, invite fun guest instructors to come and teach at your school. So this is another kind of reason to show up during the summer tactic. If it's you teaching the same classes that you teach every single week of the year, maybe that's not a strong enough reason for them to drag their kids off the beach or, come away from the event that they're at and come to class. So pre-frame your students that over the summer, you'll be inviting some fun guest instructors to teach classes at your school. And then every sort of 2 to 3 weeks during the summer, get a guest instructor in to teach some of your classes, say in the evening, and generate excitement for these guest instructors with, like, guess who the guest instructor is, who's coming, like do little teaser videos of the person maybe not giving away their identity, do a live video, 30 minutes before class. Here's the guest instructors for tonight's class. Make sure you make it to training because it's going to be a fun session. So this is like another reason to show up. If they've got a fun guest instructor who maybe they've been looking forward to training with or not trained with before, it can get them out of, you know, their back gardens and into your classes. Ooh, that's not working. There you go. So at my school, we ran a summer timetable. The issue we found was that during the summer, it's quite hard to get people to show up to stuff in the afternoons and evenings, but much easier to get them to show up in the morning, because obviously during the summer, parents are doing activities with kids, and that's usually like a day-long trip somewhere, or going out for the afternoon. And then to try and get back in time to attend class was difficult. So we would have low attendance because of that. So what we started doing at my school was running an early late schedule. So we would run early morning classes for kids, and then slightly later classes in the afternoon. We'd start our classes slightly later in the afternoon. So if you imagine, currently you probably don't have a 9 a.m. kids class at your school because the kids are at school. But during the summer, you could run a 9 a.m. kids class that any kid from whichever program could attend. And what you find is parents are like, oh, that's great. I can bring the kids to the 9 a.m. class, get them, had their martial arts training for the week, and then we can go off after that to the day trip that we'd planned. So we got good attendance for these 9 a.m. classes. You don't have to do it every day of the week. You could start with twice a week, see how it goes. If it's popular, add another day, but it is definitely worth testing. And starting the kids classes a little bit later into the evening to allow things to cool down a little bit, but also to allow parents the opportunity to get back from whatever trip or event they're doing with their kids. So if you don't currently do this, you might want to look at this as an option during this summer of, could we do a couple of early morning kids classes that kids could attend, and then a slightly later afternoon class. We also used to compress our timetable during summer, but I think this is in another slide, so we'll talk about that in a minute. You need to promote some sort of summer special offer. Like the whole one free trial class is just not a strong enough offer during summer to get people off of their deck chairs in their back gardens, or away from the beach, or away from the day trip to turn up to training. Most people are going to defer until September. So if they're thinking about their kids starting, like a one free trial class during the summer, like it's not a strong enough offer to make people come in and try, or at least I don't find it is. So here's a couple of offers that my clients have used in the past. Train for free during the school holidays. So that's exactly like it says. Now, you don't take unlimited members, but you might take 10 kids who can train for free during the school holidays. And during that period, you're obviously going to try and sign them up to a regular payment starting in September. You could do join now and get your second month free. So they would join your school, and then you would pause their second month as an offer for summer. You can do join now and don't pay for classes until September, but they still pay the joining fee, membership fee, to be a member. So they're not paying their training fees, but they are paying the joining fee to become a member of your school, which varies from school to school, but that is a good summer offer. 6 weeks training for £6, £60, £66, whatever you like. The price is not that important, but the idea that they can buy like a package of training for the summer holidays for their kids to do gives their kids something to do during the summer. And a really good one that a lot of my clients like to do is a summer sibling sale. So during the summer, siblings of your current members can train for free or a reduced amount. So the whole idea of this is you just need an offer that's a bit more interesting and attractive and a bit different than come in for a free trial class. You don't have to use mine, and you can pick up your own, obviously, but just look at the offers you make in some and try and make them more attractive to potential members. Number 9. So right now the weather in the UK is pretty nice. So this is a good time to do outside training and social events. And I'm surprised at how many schools do not do some sort of outdoor training and social event. For example, I have a client in Cornwall who lives who teaches about 10 minutes away from one of the best beaches in the UK. And I'm like, so are you going to do any outdoor training at the beach? He's like, no. I'm like, are you going to organize a barbecue or picnic at the beach? He's like, probably not. It's such a wasted opportunity, because what he can do is he can get people showing up to class. They can run down to the beach all in their uniforms. They can do some training in the sand. They can do some training in the sea afterwards. You know, they can run back, or you can organize some sort of social event or barbecue or something. And it's fun for your students to get out of your schools and get, you know, a bit of sunshine and a bit of fresh air. And also it creates a lot of local awareness, because, you know, if you've got a whole load of karate students all in their uniforms running down to the beach to train and then training on the beach, people are going to come and talk to you. You know, they're going to take pictures. You've got social media content. So this year he's actually, for the first year, going to actually do this, like go down to the beach and do some training every couple of weeks. So look, if you live near a beautiful park, if you live or if you teach near a beach or anything like that, why not start organizing some picnics, some trips to the beach for training, some barbecues. Some schools I know do theme park trips where, you know, the students and their parents will come to a theme park, and you'll do like a theme park trip during the summer, which is great fun for everyone. And obviously you could do some sort of summer training camps that are outdoor based as well. The idea is that you provide the fun, so your students don't need to go elsewhere to find the fun. Like, you are going to be organizing events and things happening that are fun and enjoyable, so that your students use you rather than other resources in the local area. Get outside. So as martial arts instructors, we kind of come a bit lazy with our marketing. I started running my school 25 years ago. So there was no social media, barely any websites. And we had to do the old school marketing, which was, you know, going to festivals, fairs, fetes, events, doing demos, going up to people at these things and talking to them. And that stuff still works. So we've all got a bit lazy. We now just run Facebook ads, and we don't do the old school marketing that has been proven to work for decades. So this summer, why not commit to attending as many local events, festivals, fetes, shows within your local area as possible. And if you just go on Facebook, you'll be able to find all the local events that are happening and book yourself in. Make sure you, you know, get yourself a pitch at one of these events. Key things with running like event marketing is you need an attention grabber. You need something that will draw people's attention to your stall as opposed to the other ones. So things like a big wave master is always good. Things like a Kung Fu Panda suit is irresistible for people. Flags, things like that, that people could spot from a distance. You also need some sort of competition in order to capture people's contact information. It's not enough just to stand there smiling behind your desk, trying to get people to come and talk to you. You need to get out in front of your desk and say to people, hey guys, who'd like to win 3 months worth of martial arts training, value £150? All you have to do is do the most punches in 20 seconds on this punch bag wave master, and one person's going to win this prize and 5 people are going to win that prize. And so you get little kids, you put little gloves on little kids, and they do as many punches as they can in 20 seconds. And you take their parents' name, telephone number, and email to let them know if they've won. You get big adults trying to do as many punches as they can in 20 seconds. You take their name, telephone, and email. One of my clients does this at every festival, fair, event that he goes to, and he typically leaves with 40 plus names on a sheet of paper. So that's 40 plus people's names, telephone number, and email addresses from being at one event. And he does this weekly during the summer. He's in Exeter where there's lots of events. So he's turning up every week to an event, and he's leaving with 40 plus names on a piece of paper. That's a great way to start September with that many leads already. So you need to have an attention grabber. You need to have some sort of competition that people will give you their contact information to win. And you need attractive helpers. What I mean by that is you need people who are willing to talk to other people. There's no point having your introverts at an event. You want your extroverts, the people who are willing to go up and chat to people, and kind of drag them over to your stall to do the competition. So this is doable. It's really easy. You just go on Facebook, look for the events that are happening in your local area, book yourselves into them, and show up and run some sort of competition and or demo, and you leave with loads of names. So definitely worth doing if you haven't done one in a while. So during summer, classes are quieter generally in most schools. So this is an opportunity for you to train your newbies, your assistant coaches, your instructor team, so that they build confidence dealing with smaller classes. The worst time to kind of train an instructor team is like September, October, November, when it's really like busy and stressful. Now's the perfect time to bring the next generation of instructors through and train them up, so so that they're dealing with smaller classes. So this allows you to focus on building your bench. If you can start your instructor training group, now, by the time they get to September, they've been teaching smaller classes, interacting with people, building their confidence. It works really, really well. It's also a great time to test any changes you're going to make to your syllabus before everything gets busy in September, October. So if you're thinking of upgrading your syllabus, changing a few things, reorganizing stuff, like summer's a great time to test it with smaller classes, so you get feedback, but you don't upset lots and lots of your students all at the same time. So during the summer, think about how you can get your team together, how you can train them, how you can help them improve, so that everyone is fired up, excited, and ready to kick butt when September hits. Number 12, ask current members for referrals before the September rush. So we know that September, October, November are really strong months across the board for martial arts schools. And our classes are going to get busy with lots of newbies coming in. So what I would do at my school is sort of mid-August, I would start speaking to my current members. I would send them an email. I would speak to them in class. I would send a group WhatsApp. I would post within the Facebook group. So you want to try and make sure you contact them in as many ways as possible. And you would essentially say to them, September, the school's going to get busy, and we'd rather fill our school full of friendly and nice people like you. So if you have any friends or family who would like to join, can you give us their contact information or get them to contact us within the next 2 weeks before we start advertising externally, because we'd rather fill our school full of people like you than strangers. And what that does is it gives people a reason to actually think about, oh yeah, like who, so and so mentioned at work that they'd like to give martial arts a try, nephew, cousin, etc., was thinking about it. Now's the time to do it, because it's going to get busy in September, and I want my friend or family members to secure a space. So that generally, I usually do that sort of second week of August, and start communicating with members that now's a great time to refer their friends and family, because we can guarantee them a space. And we may not be able to once the September rush starts. And if they've been with you a while, that will make sense to them, because they're like, okay, yeah, we understand that in September classes seem to get really, really busy. So I'm going to speak to my friend about starting now. And make sure that the best offer you have is always for a referred member, because referred members join quicker, they join easier, they have less questions, they tend to sign up faster. They also tend to refer other members as well, because that's how they found out about the school. So you really want to have a really great offer for referrals. It should be a win-win-win. It should be a win for the person referring the friend. It should be a win for the friend, and it should be a win for you and the business. So you need to reward the person who's given the referral. You need to reward the person who's been referred with some sort of extended offer. And that will be a win for the business. So most martial arts schools I work with don't have a decent referral scheme in place. Like occasionally they might ask students to refer a friend or family member, they might send out an email asking for referrals, but they don't have a systematized, formalized referral system in place. And there's easily 30 referral systems you can use in a martial arts school, but most martial arts schools don't do it in the UK. And I think that's because in the UK, we're a bit icky, a bit weird about asking for referrals. We feel like we're pressuring our students and it makes us feel uncomfortable, so we don't do it. But it's one of the easiest ways of growing your school. So number 13, set a summer goal for your students. So what challenges, what fun challenges could you set for your students to complete during the summer? And what rewards would you offer? So every year we used to put up a big piece of paper up on the wall in the school that would say, what's your summer goal? And then we'd get people to write their name and their summer goal. So it might be so-and-so might want to lose X amount of pounds. This person might want to get into full splits again. This person might want to be able to do 50 push-ups. And we'd get all these students voluntarily putting their name on it and their summer goal. And that was an excuse for us to follow up with them to make sure that they were working towards their summer goal. So if we hadn't seen them in class for a couple of weeks, we could like send them a message and say, hey Sam, haven't seen you in class, hope everything's good. Remember, your summer goal is to get 50 push-ups done, so let's get you back next week. Let's make sure you can hit that goal. So it's a form of accountability, which people liked. So you could put up some sort of sign, you could create a digital version where students could fill in their summer goal, and it's up to you to encourage, motivate, inspire, and challenge them to hit that goal during the 6 to 8 weeks holiday. And then you could obviously offer some rewards, some prizes for people who do hit their goal. So that's an extra motivation as well. 14. Summer camps. A lot of you are probably doing summer camps anyway. They are a great retention tool. They're a great lead generation tool, and they're a great revenue generation tool if you know how to use them properly. So if you've not done a summer camp in a while, and you enjoy teaching kids, or you've got staff members who can teach kids, summer camps are definitely worth doing. There's two ways to run a summer camp, essentially. You can run it internally or externally. Internally means it's mainly for your current members, their friends and their family, to attend and do a certain amount of summer camp training. Externally is that you externally market your martial arts summer camp to members of the community to use it as a lead generation tool. And you can obviously do a mix of both. Running it with current members is often easier because you know what they're like. They have a way of behaving that you can monitor and manage. Running it externally can be a bit more challenging, but it does bring in people who are unaware of your school and may then turn into students afterwards. Key thing with a summer camp is to set a minimum number of attendees that you need to make it work for you. So say you set that at 20 children and you've got 12 booked on. That's an opportunity for you to speak to your members and say, hey guys, we only got 12, we need 20. So if you're thinking about it, now's the time to get on it, or we'll have to cancel it. So that acts as a motivator for people to take action. And you've obviously got to factor in, if you're paying staff, etc., for running the summer camp for you, how much you need to make. So you need to do your calculations to see what works for you and the minimum number that makes it viable. The biggest mistake like instructors make with their first summer camp is they make it totally focused on martial arts. So they just teach martial arts for 6 hours a day, 5 days a week, and they kill the kids. It's too much volume of training for kids to handle, and they burn out, and then the kids get tired, they get moody, they get ratty, their behavior deteriorates. So understand that, yes, it's a martial arts summer camp, but it doesn't need to be non-stop martial arts, wall to wall, all the time that they're there. So you need to put in break times, obviously, and you need to include other activities that are not necessarily physical, so that the kids don't burn out, especially if they're younger kids. And a lot of martial arts schools will do things like watching a martial arts movie in the afternoon, for example, so kids can just chill out, watch a film. And then one of my clients I was speaking to today actually teaches in Spain. He would watch like the old Karate Kid movie, And then afterwards, they would kind of design a fight scene based off some of the techniques that they'd seen in that Karate Kid movie. So there's lots of things you can do, but just don't make it all physical training, or the kids will burn out and make your life harder than it needs to. If you haven't run one before, I'd recommend starting with 1 day a week, and just trying it out, see how you go. You might love it, you might hate it, and then build up to possibly, 2, 3, 4 days a week. There are schools out there that literally have summer camp every single day, 5 days a week throughout the whole 6 weeks holiday. To me, that seems like an absolute nightmare, but it's up to you. They're very good at promoting them. They're very good at marketing them. They charge a premium, so they're not cheap. And they fill them up, and it's a great revenue generation tool for the business during the summer. So if you haven't run a summer camp in a while, consider it. It has all sorts of benefits. 15, partnerships. So let's say you like the idea of a summer camp, but you don't want to actually do it yourself. You could partner with other local providers who are delivering summer camps and become the martial arts person for them. So I have another client who does this. He doesn't want to run his own summer camps, but he's quite happy to teach martial arts at a multi-sport camp in his local area. So he will go there for like half a day and teach the martial arts section of it to hundreds of kids in the local community who weren't aware of him up until that point. Now they're aware. They all leave with a flyer with some sort of VIP special offer as they attended the summer camp. And then he doesn't have to do any of the organizing of it, using his own space, his own hall. He goes to other people's summer camps and teaches the martial arts section for them. And that's rare. Like most multi-sport summer camps don't have a martial arts program. They have, the standard, football, they do the canoeing, they do the dance, gymnastics, they have all these different things, but there's not many people doing martial arts in them. So it could be that you could be the only person there doing martial arts. And some of these camps are huge, like they have thousands of kids going through week after week. So if you have the time in the day and you like teaching kids, which I'm famous for not liking teaching kids, but if you do like teaching kids, you could definitely do that. Go to someone else's summer camp and be the martial arts person there. Strategy 16, summer loyalty program. So how about creating a loyalty program where the members who maintain consistent attendance throughout the summer get some sort of reward, almost like a stamp or a pass, or if they've hit this certain number of classes during the summer, they get this special award certificate, t-shirt that goes with it, mention on the Facebook page, or dojo dollars from your pro shop so that they can spend within the pro shop. So like, just give them another reason to show up. Like if you hit 20 lessons during the 6 weeks holidays, you will be eligible to enter into a prize draw to win XYZ, prize 1, prize 2, prize 3. Like all of these things combined are just another reason for people to show up during the summer. So consider like some sort of loyalty program. It could be very, very simple. It could be tracked on your CRM. It can be a stamped card. It doesn't need to be particularly difficult, but how are you going to reward people who consistently show up during the summer? So summer's a great time for open days. If you have a full-time location, you can open up your doors and allow the general public to wander in. And the reason why it's a great time for open days is like parents are desperate for activities for their children during the summer because kids are bored at home, playing computer games all day, eating everything that's in the fridge. And parents want to take them out and do activities that may be fun for them, that maybe don't cost lots of money. So if you, during the summer, open up your school for a few open days, that's a great opportunity for parents to bring their kids down, and you advertise it as like martial arts taster sessions so that people could come down and try out 15-minute martial arts taster sessions. You have to promote this. It's not like my very first open day a long time ago. I kind of opened the door and didn't really tell anyone about the fact that I was having an open day. So I sat in my gym for 6 hours and no one showed up. 0 people showed up. And literally during the last sort of 30 minutes, one guy came in, must got lost or something, came in. We had a little chat. We talked about martial arts and how he wanted to do this and that. He came for a trial. He joined up, and he then stayed with us for 10 years. So that 6 hours of sitting on my butt in my gym, not doing much, led to a client that stayed with us for 10 years. So you imagine what 10 years worth of revenue, grading fees, equipment purchases, referrals, goodwill would have generated. So that was a good use of my time, actually. But back then, I didn't know how to market effectively. So now, if I was going to run an open day, I would, at least have 3 to 5 days lead up, and I would be posting about it in local Facebook groups. I would probably run a Facebook ad for it as well to generate local awareness of it. I would be talking to my members about bringing their friends and family down for 15-minute taster sessions, and you can get good numbers of people showing up. So when they get there, obviously you need to have a little chat with them, try and capture their contact information. The reason why you're capturing their contact information is because they're going to do a 15-minute taster, so you need that for your insurance. So that's how you capture their contact information, and give away things like free ice poles to the kids, so that the kids are having a good time. Have balloons with your school's logo and QR code on it, so that kids leave with a balloon that people might see around town for the rest of the day. But yeah, open days do work. You just need to make sure that you effectively market them, and you have enough assistants and helpers there on the day to deliver sort of 15-minute taster sessions. So if you haven't hosted an open day in a while, try it, give it a go. It is definitely worth doing during the summer. One of my training partners offers off-season training to other sports. So football's currently finished, rugby's finished, hockey's finished, all of these sports, the season's ended. So what he does is he contacts local sports teams, and he says, I will, train your players and improve their fitness and coordination through martial arts training, so that they're better on the field when they return in September. So every year he gets in like local football teams, he gets in local hockey teams, etc., netball teams, and he trains them, he charges them, and he runs sort of 6-week fitness, coordination, balance boot camps for these athletes. And it inevitably, so he's making money from that, and it's he's using his school during the daytime, possibly when it's not being used. But it also generates a lot of awareness, because then he gets sponsorship from the football team, and then he's able to take pictures at team at team events, etc. And he gets in with a large number of people through supporting local teams with extra training. So you can just go onto Facebook, go onto Google, find local teams and offer them summer training to help them prepare for September. I used to do this at my school once a month during the summer. We used to do a day trip to another local school that we were friendly with. So we used to, instead of having training in our regular location, we used to all meet up at a friend's school and have a training session there. And that's like a day trip. It's like a fun trip that you can do. Everyone goes to a new school, meets new people, has a fun training experience, and it just freshens up what's happening during the summer. So it's like, once again, another reason to show up. You could go to a friend's school for sparring training. You could, there's lots of reasons for doing it, and then they could obviously return the favor and come back to your school for training as well. So it's almost like a fun trip to do during the summer. You don't want to do it too regularly, but it does get people showing up and wanting to go somewhere a bit different to have a bit of a train. Summer's a great time to run a flash sale as well. A flash sale is, a 48 hours notice sale of your merchandise and equipment. So lots of us sit on stock, martial arts equipment stock. I have a friend who typically has about £60,000 worth of stock. Yeah, 60k of gloves, shin pads, groin guards, focus mitts in stock, which to me is crazy. Like, why does he need that much stock? But anyway, he would be good to run a flash sale. So you essentially tell your members in 48 hours time, there's going to be a flash sale. You can get up to 60% off different pieces of equipment and merchandise. The goal is ideally to get people to book 15-minute slots to attend this flash sale so that you can almost private shop of them around and be able to upsell and cross sell pieces of equipment. So say someone books a 15-minute slot, they show up, you say, so what are you interested in getting during the sale? Oh, I need new boxing gloves. And you're like, okay, great, here's the range of boxing gloves, which one do you think's right? Try them on, have a chat with them. And then you say, do you also have hand wraps, because your gloves are going to smell if you don't have hand wraps? No, I haven't got hand wraps. Okay, so let's get you a pair of hand wraps. And if you're getting boxing gloves, obviously you're going to be sparring. So if you've got a gumshoe, do you need a new gumshoe? No. Okay, so we need to get you a gumshoe as well. So there's opportunities in one-to-one selling where you can cross-sell other pieces of equipment and upsell to more expensive pieces of equipment or packages. And that's hard to do if it's just like a Black Friday mob all descending on your gym and ripping everything off the wall. This is why these 15-minute slots are better, because you can actually speak to the student, find out what issues or problems they have, and what types of equipment they're looking for, and then suggest upgrades or extra pieces that they may need. You can sell physical equipment, you can sell merchandise and clothing, uniforms, but during the summer you can also sell memberships. So you could sell 3, 6, 12-month memberships with bonuses or discounts to bring in some extra revenue. I would do this at least twice during the summer to make it worth your time. So that's 20 ideas, and there are more, but those are like the core 20 ideas that you can use in summer to prevent a summer slump. So we're looking at 3 things. You want to make sure that people are showing up to classes, so class attendance is good. We want to make sure that we actually are generating leads during the summer, so they convert into new members in summer or in September. And we want to, retain our current members so that we're keeping our student numbers high. Those are the goals of preventing a summer slump. So I've just covered 20. I want you to make a little list of at least 5 of those 20 that you think you can easily test within your school. You don't want to choose the ones that are difficult or seem like they're going to require a lot of work. Just try and go for easy wins, like easy to implement, big upside in terms of what impact it could have on your school. And then each year, let's say you choose 5 things to do this summer, and then out of the 5, 1 really performs amazingly well. That's going to be your control for the following year, and then you test 4 more ideas. And then after a few years, you'll have like 5 banging great retention, revenue generation, lead generation tools that you can use every single summer. And also, because you're part of Nest and you're part of a large group of instructors who all trying to have a great summer, speak to other instructors and find out any additional ideas that they may have for improving your summer. But I think the key thing with avoiding a summer slump is the mindset you go into summer with. If you go into summer with it's gonna suck, like people are not going to show up, my leads are going to drop, I'm not going to bother marketing much, classes are going to be quiet, I'll just defer everything until September, then yes, that's what you're going to get. But if you go into summer with like a plan of action and energy and enthusiasm for it, and a willingness to do what's necessary, at worst case, you're going to start September with roughly the same number of students that you started the summer with. At worst case, you might actually, at best case, you might actually grow your school during the summer. Like you might actually start September 5, 10, 15, 20 members up where you were at the beginning of summer. And then obviously September, October, November is going to be fantastic. So that's me. Let's have questions. I'll have a quick slurp of tea. So how do we do questions, if we have any?
Hello, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, if anyone's got any questions, please pop them in the chat. That was the great session, Matt.
Thank
Really
you.
helpful stuff there. And I hope everyone's sort of like taking away some interesting kind of like, advice and ideas and motivation and anything you need to sort of like, get you out of that summer slump and, get you rolling into having a really good summer. So yeah, really good.
Thank you. Stick your questions in the chat if you have any, guys.
Yeah.
So yeah, like the key thing I think is the mindset of I'm not just going to accept summer being a wasteland of empty classes and zero leads. Like if you can actively pursue summer, you can get some good results, but you just got to be willing to put the effort in.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Question about whether you need to do anything with Ofsted if we are running kids' summer camps. Well, that's a very good question, and I don't know actually the answer to that. So I'll leave that up to Nest to let let you guys know if you do need that. I think it does depend on how long the summer camps are running, etc. But yeah, Nest will let you know about that because they are the experts on this.
Yeah, and don't look at me because I'm not the direct expert. But if you want to give us a call or an email, someone from our team will be able to help you with those types of questions on
Mm.
Ofsted and all the safety on safeguarding and everything like that.
Yes, yes, very important.
Mm.
I hire a horn considering condensing training to bring age groups together over the summer. Have you done this? Yes, I have. Every summer we used to condense our timetable. So we would squish classes together because, as you know, as instructors, there's few things worse than, expecting 20 people to turn up and one person shows up. And then the next class expecting 20 people to show up and one person shows up. It's not great for the student. And it's also not great for us as instructors because it requires quite a lot of extra energy to run smaller classes. So what I used to do is I used to condense the timetable. So I would condense two kids classes together and I would condense two adults classes together, which meant we started a little bit later and we finished a little bit earlier, which was good for everyone. Good for the students, but also good for the instructor team who were working a bit less. So typically our classes would start about 3:30 and finish about 9:30, and we would squish all of that. So we'd start more like 4:30, 5 and finish by about 8:30, which the students in the students enjoyed it more because there are more people in the class, more people to interact with. They also got to meet maybe people that they wouldn't normally meet because they weren't in their classes. So yeah, you can condense your timetable. Just make sure you're prepping it with your members and that you give them plenty of warning as they start freaking out, and explain it's only for the 6 weeks summer holiday. So yeah, it's probably best to do that like a month ago, but you could try it now if you wanted. But I've never had any negative consequences of doing that with the timetable. Summer marketing with limited social media spend, would you suggest continuing with lead ad forms or switching to education content marketing? Depends what you've had success with in the past. Like if you know that your lead ad forms work and you're getting leads for decent cost per result, then continue with that. In the past, if you've run engagement sort of campaigns or awareness campaigns, you can run those. Awareness and engagement campaigns are typically cheaper because you're keeping people on Facebook and Facebook won't charge you as much. So there is that. If money is a real issue, then the awareness campaign is a good bet because it's just letting people know about you in the local area with the goal of them clicking through and either commenting or clicking on your link and then following up. Lead formats generally, though, are some of the best ads you can run because you capture people's contact information and then you can follow up with them. So I would say go with what has worked in the past. That's generally a good advice for marketing.
And if you're unsure as well, you can always split test something. So if you want to test between like a lead form and sort of a more of a brand awareness one, see what kind of gets you the most engagement, because you might find that people want that sort of step before they're ready to commit to maybe, booking a class, and it could help them in that journey and becoming a student. So,
Yeah.
you use it to kind of test, and you don't have to test for long. You can test for, 5 days or a week or two, depending on kind of your budget and what you want to achieve really.
Yeah, yeah, that's good advice. Any other questions? So just write in the chat out of those 20 ideas, like give me one or two that you're thinking of applying, guys, so I can kind of work out which ones were most popular. Maybe next time I can do a bit more on those. So just write in the chat, like I'm going to compress my time, so I'm going to offer early morning classes. I'm going to do the summer sibling sale. I'm going to do some outdoor training camps. I'm going to contact local sports providers about training their team. Like, just write in the chat so I know which ones you think are easiest to apply. And then next time I do this, we can focus more on them. But also, maybe if there's any that I've missed, stick them in the chat as well. Is there anything else that you do during the summer that really helps with lead generation, retention, and class attendance? 6 week special courses over the summer or the summer sibling sale. Yeah. It's got a catchy ring to it. Summer sibling sale, that's why.
I love a bit of alliteration. It's like my favorite thing.
Themed and outdoor training along with challenges, consistency, outdoor training. Yep. Summer training goals. Oh, you're doing a lot, Jim. Like it. Summer training photo video competition. Yeah, that is one of the most popular ones we used to do. Trying to get people to send in clips of them training while they're away on holiday, and you get some like crazy clips from all over the world, which usually we then put together for some sort of promo video.
And that type of content's really good just for, for people sharing and wanting to see, because that's gonna, seeing the actual students in that situation, training is more likely to encourage other students to be like, oh, I want to do that. I want to be able to do that, that certain kick on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we had a competition where it was best flying sidekick into a pool. So we
Oh,
literally had hundreds of people just running and trying to do the perfect flying sidekick into the pool, and then we would create a little promo of that. So yeah, things like that. The thing is, okay, some people may not be at training during the summer, but you want them still to be thinking about training. And if you can make it fun and make it more of a challenge and a competition, and then they're still thinking about you, even though they're not physically there, which means when they return, they're more likely to come back. Because what you want to do is during the summer, if people are away, when they get back, they need to be coming back to training the very next week, not leaving it 2 or 3 weeks, because of other things. They want to be, you want them to be excited to return straight away, because that gets them back into the habit. And we know like retention is all about habitual behavior. So trying to get them to think about training while they're away helps with that.
yeah. And definitely having sort of content to sort of share with their friends and family as well, while they're being on
Yeah,
holiday. It keeps that sort of fire and motivation alive, and
exactly. Yeah,
keeping that, wanting to come back and learn and keep
yeah,
coming back to the classes.
yeah, yeah. Club birthday party in August. Nice. That's going to be a good one. So yeah, let everyone know about that and make it a big event. And with those types of things, if it's like a big number, 10 or 20, it's often worth trying to get local press there. It's also often worth trying to, recruit an MP or someone or a mayor to come down and celebrate the difference you're making in the local community, because it just generates extra awareness.
Yeah, and it's one of those things where if you don't ask, you don't get. So
Yeah,
shoot a shot and send that email, do that phone call, and you don't, even if you're worried about like figuring out what to say, use ChatGPT to like formulate a little email together for you. Perfect. There you go. You've sent out 20 emails in 10 minutes.
exactly. Yes, nice. Any other questions? Any other things that you guys are going to do? Or are we all good? I think we're all good.
Yeah, I think we're all good. Well, thanks again for that, Matt. Some really good, valuable insights there, and I hope everyone managed to get some really good advice and motivation so you can really hit the ground running, this summer. This webinar has been recorded, so if you've missed anything or want to rewatch anything, it will be available later this week on YouTube, and we share it on social and everything. So if that's no more questions, we'll wrap this session up. So thanks again very much, Matt, for your time and all your insight and everything. And thank you to all those who attended. And hopefully see you all guys at our next webinar in a month or so. So thanks again,
Thank you,
everyone.
guys.
And
Cheers. Have a good summer.
bye, everyone. Bye.